The 2016 BMW M2 By Speed-Busters. When you're a tuning company that goes by the name Speed-Busters, it's pretty easy to understand what your objectives are in the tuning game. Suffice to say, Speed-Busters makes no bones about its intent with its tuning programs, and the latest example of that comes in the form of its new engine upgrade package for the BMW M2, BMW's resident road firecracker. For a car that comes with 365 horsepower and 343 pound-feet of torque in standard configuration, there's something mystifyingly exciting about it getting 426 horsepower and 457 pound-feet of torque. That in a nutshell is what Speed-Busters was able to do with the M2's 3.0-liter inline-six engine. The tuner worked through a meticulous process to get to that number, but in the end, the result should make for a wild and wonky M2 that's going to be a ball of fun to drive. Unfortunately, the perceived weaknesses of the M2 were not addressed by the tuner. The interior, in particular, will still get the same plastic treatment as the standard model. There are also no wheel upgrades to speak of, which would have been nice given what the car could look like with a new set of fancy wheels. The good thing is that there are other aftermarket companies that can pick up the slack with those items. Speed-Busters doesn't seem to mind because, as the name suggests, it's in the business of making cars faster and more powerful. Chalk this program up as a success in that regard. Continue after the jump to read the full review. Exterior: there are no exterior upgrades to speak of here. Perfectly understandable considering that Speed-Busters' sole focus was to add more power the M2's inline-six engine. Interior: note, interior from standard BMW M2 shown here, the same holds true with the interior. It's still completely stock, and while it does have a certain entry-level charm to it, it still needs a little bit of work to complement the M2's performance credentials. You won't get that from Speed-Busters, so better look somewhere else in that regard. Drivetrain Engine from standard BMW M2 shown here. The tuner's engine upgrade package for the BMW M2 revolves around its specialty, chip tuning. As such, Speed-Busters used its very own, vehicle-specific, multi-channel chip tuning box on the M2's 3.0-liter inline-six engine. The result is an extra 56 horsepower and 88 pound-feet of torque. Do the math and that adds up to an output of 426 ponies and 457 pound-feet of torque, enough to presumably cut the M2's own performance numbers. Speed-Busters didn't elaborate on the changes in that regard, but a new 0 to 60 mph sprint time of under 4 seconds is in the cards, as is a top speed in the neighborhood of 180 miles per hour. That is if Speed-Busters carries the option of removing the car's V-Max speed limiter, chassis and suspension. In keeping with the tuner's engine-only upgrade package, Speed-Busters didn't perform any aftermarket modifications on the BMW M2's chassis and suspension. Pricing: the cost of the program is just €799, which would amount to $895 based on current exchange rates. That comes with German certification and a 2-year warranty covering the engine. For an extra €50 ($56), customers can also opt for a remote control that is available through a smartphone app. Competition: BMW M2 by Design and Technik GmbH. There have been a rush of tuning programs for the BMW M2 that have been released in recent months. Hardly a surprise considering that the M2 has become far more attractive as more people have become smitten with the car. One tuner that released its own tuning take on the MW is Design and Technik GmbH, which presented a program that revolves around a 4-stage engine kit that helps bring out as much as 531 horsepower and 538 pound-feet of torque. It's far more than what Speed-Busters was able to achieve with its own upgrade, and just as important, there are also lower-level power gains to choose from, including 408 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque for the Level 1 upgrade, 430 horsepower and 464 pound-feet of torque for Level 2, and 450 horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque for Level 3. Read more about the BMW M2 by Design and Technik GmbH here. BMW M2 by Alpha N Performance. Alpha N Performance has been one of the more aggressive tuners in terms of providing aftermarket programs for the M2. That was evident when the tuner unveiled its own version of a multi-level engine upgrade package that tops out at 430 horsepower and 457 pound-feet of torque. That's on top of 2 lower-level upgrades, specifically the Stage 1 kit that nets 400 horsepower and 438 pound-feet of torque and the Stage 2 kit that tacks on 415 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque. Read more about the BMW M2 by Alpha N Performance here. Conclusion: Speed-Busters engine upgrade package for the BMW M2 isn't the most powerful version in the market today. Both Alpha N Performance and Dollar have Speed-Busters beat there. But here's where it gets interesting. The Speed-Busters program is very affordable, at least compared to what you might have to pay to get the extra power from the other tuners. This kit definitely suits those owners that are on a budget to get some extra power out of their BMW M2s. Love it, very affordable, nice power gains, won't change the M2's character, leave it no exterior and interior upgrades. Those looking for more power have other options to choose from, there aren't even any wheels upgrades.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.